started here. Good morning, everybody. Mike Anderson with American Independent Marketing. I'm joined this morning by David Wayne, also from AIM, and Alicia Hansen from Mutual of Omaha. We're going to spend some time today talking with you about Medicare Supp. Dave, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you and let you take it away.
Okay, thank you, Mike. As Mike said, good morning, everybody. We've got a webinar here today that I think is going to be really timely. We actually have Alicia Hansen, who runs the Medicare department for Mutual of Omaha, so it's a special day to have her on the phone and share what's going on, the layout of Medicare supplement. And with going into pretty close to open enrollment, people are starting to gear up, do their certifications. And as we all see, the Medicare supplement business start to heat up at this time of year. So thought we would do this series with Mutual of Omaha and get people's mindsets ready to have a good year with Medicare supplements. And to have Alicia on the phone to do this, I thought we couldn't ask for a better person. So Alicia, if you would give us this presentation.
Great. Thank you very much, everyone. Again, my name is Alicia Hansen, and I'm with Mutual of Omaha. I'm the National Sales Director on the health side. And I want to go ahead today and just kind of give you guys an update on where we are in the Medicare supplement realm, and we'll just kind of take it from here. So we've got a lot of exciting stuff to talk about today. So let's go ahead and get started here. If I can get my presentation to move. Here we go. So what's new? So effective with Medicare supplement applications signed and dated on or after January 1st, we did a few things that were very exciting for our package this year. We increased our base compensation. So for your schedules, which you can view on Sales Professional Access, you can go out there and view your compensation schedules that would have been updated January 1st, 2014, and you would have gotten notice of that in late December. So we increased our compensation package really to put ourselves with where the competition was. With the modernization back in 2010, it really has, in the MedSupp world, brought in a lot of competition into this realm, and the compensation, we really needed to get it up there to be in pace with everyone else. And as you all know, we have affiliate companies that we do start over pricing with, introducing Omaha Insurance Company as our latest one. So when we do affiliate new business conversions, before we were paying 75% if a consumer moved from, say, United of Omaha to Omaha Insurance Company. And we moved that up to 90%. We can't pay full commission on those because the states frown on that. If you were to cherry pick the healthy people away from the former blocks. Now, obviously, a lot of consumers will come knocking on your door and say, hey, I know about the new rates and I can qualify via underwriting. And so we wanted to push that percentage up to 90%, so it's more money in your pocket, essentially. So we took our affiliate new business conversion from 75 to 90%, which is a big positive. And then the mix of business bonus, which I am the most excited about this. And this is on renewal compensation. In the next 4 slides, we're going to go over that a little bit more in detail. So for our mix of business enhanced renewal compensation, here's a quick overview. It increases your levelized renewal commissions on all the policies when the percentage of underwritten business meets a target level. So we are Mutual of Omaha, so we are a brand name with the baby boomers, essentially. And with that, and another reason, too, I'll say real quick, because we have such a diverse product portfolio, we have a very robust life portfolio. We're in the long-term care market, the DI market. We just introduced a cancer lump sum product. So we have all of these products where producers who maybe focus on those other products are just going to run into a MedSupp client occasionally, and more likely in open enrollment. So as a brand company and being Mutual of Omaha, Wild Kingdom, and that recognition out there, we get a lot of open enrollment business. So any company will tell you they would love more of that mix of business with that underwritten stuff. That's the good stuff. That's going to keep the claims loss ratios intact and so forth. So we're always looking for ways to improve our underwritten mix. And so we came up with this mix of business renewal compensation. You can't do anything in the first year, but what we did was we took the renewal. So if you basically give us a certain underwritten mix in a quarterly snapshot, which I'll show you here in a moment, then basically you get some additional points in the renewal years 2 through 6. So that's more money in your pocket if we can just get some more underwritten business from you, the producers. We just started this January 1st, and to qualify, the number of net issued underwritten MedSupp policies in a calendar year quarter that are in force on the 12th business day of the following month meet one of the target levels. That bonus percentage is going to be paid in those following years. So here it is. Here's the target levels of that underwritten business. If we get in that snapshot of that quarter, so basically think of it like every quarter, January, February, March, we're going to take a picture of all of that business. And if the underwritten mix is within the 40 to 49% range, then we're going to pay an additional 2% on all the policies in that quarter. So not just the underwritten ones. The underwritten ones get you to the qualification, but then we'll pay on all of those policies in those renewal years. If we get more than 50% underwritten mix, then 4 points added into those renewal years, which could be, I mean, that's just, I think that's a huge, huge thing. Here's an example. This is over to the right. It's just kind of an example. If you were to give us $150,000, we got a 50% underwritten mix. You're essentially going to get almost $5,000 more, and this is kind of taken into consideration lapses every year. But there you go. You could get an additional, in addition to your compensation, an additional almost $5,000 in that second year. So if you, for that 150,000 mix. So it does add up. The dollars are there, and we're hoping with this mix of business that we will continue to get more of that underwritten business out there. Those 67-year-olds, those 68, you know, anyone who's kind of price shopping, who's healthy, can move over to us. We want that underwritten mix, and with that, it's going to, you know, be a benefit to the claims experience, which is going to keep our rate increases low. Right now, we're running national average here in 2014. We're running a national average of 4.2% rate increase. Compared to last year, we were at 5.9. So we're hoping with this year, which we've seen good results so far, this mix of business will be a huge advantage in this Medicare supplement space. So just excited about that. So keep it in mind. Now I want to talk about the e-app. So we're always promoting the e-app, and why promote the e-app? Well, it's going to save you time, save clients time, ensure accuracy. It's easy for you and your clients, reduces frustration of outdated paper forms, which we can all run into. It's quick to issue, simple to track apps in progress. So we came out with this e-app a few years ago, and you know, with anything, this is a time saver. I always tell producers, it is just another method of submitting an application to Mutual of Omaha. As a company, again, going back to that, all that competition we have out in this space, we want to be able to provide to our producers every easy option in which to get in front of your clients. So this is another one. So as we move forward with the baby boomers, technology is advancing. You know, we need to stay out in front of technology best we can, and always try to be keeping these methods of taking an application to make it easier for you. I mean, essentially, you could be sitting with a client in their home and still use this e-application, get it submitted to us quicker. You could be a mini call center, you know, have a few agents and submitting applications via e-app, or you could just be an individual producer buying leads, calling out to people, prospects, and closing over the phone using this e-application. So we always will promote this. It's lightning fast again. It's going to be auto issue, especially these open enrollment situations. Those things issue just in the quickest amount of time. Less than 10 minutes to underwriter review from time of submission. 90% of e-apps are reviewed the same day the applicant signs the application. And the average time on all app types is less than 2 days. So there are a lot of advantages to the e-application. And here's some features here. The underwriting rules are automatically applied. So as you're going through the application, it's online. We've already taken all of our underwriting rules and built them into the system. This e-app was created internally here at Mutual of Omaha. So another reason we didn't go outside to another vendor was so when we did bring a new product forward, like Omaha Insurance Company, we can get these switched over quicker at the time they're released and so forth. Another great feature is our FDA database for prescription drugs, and dosages are listed as needed. So that just, again, helps with underwriting and validating things quicker. Visual cues indicate your process during the application process because you, the producer, you're just asking the questions over the phone if you've got a client on the phone. They don't see what you're filling in. They're going to get a final PDF of that application at the end when they go do the signature. But as you're going through the application, then it's what you're seeing there. One signature covers all the forms, which is a huge plus. Answers to simple questions reveal only the additional questions your client needs. So obviously, if you're out there doing an e-app and it's an open enrollment situation, you're indicating that up front, and then all those health questions won't appear on the e-app that you're doing, but those health questions will be in the final PDF to the client because you have to give them a complete application at the end, and those health questions need to show there. They just won't be filled in because they don't need to be. Real-time quotes and data updates. So if you go out to the e-app and if you just want to even quote, you know that the quote you're giving them is the most up-to-date quote. And then a dashboard shows all your applications in progress. And that dashboard, I think, is a huge advantage. That's only for your eyes because you sign into Sales Professional Access with your ID. So what you see there is what belongs to you, that producer, and tied to your producer number. So to get started for the e-app, it's extremely simple. You log on to Mutual of Omaha Sales Professional Access. This is our SPA Access page. And from that home page, you select the MedSupp e-app. And then from there, here's what your dashboard looks like. So obviously, the first time you go out here, you're not going to have anything on your dashboard, essentially, where it starts that AA applicant's name and down below. So as you start using the e-app, these will be out here, and as these complete, they'll eventually drop off after 90 days, and you'll have different statuses that you can see there. Like if you see app status there, you can see that on that top one you have an app started, but maybe you didn't finish it all the way through because the client had something that came up and you were going to get with them later, or you just quoted them. And maybe you're going to schedule another time to complete that application later, but at least it lets you know that you've quoted them. And then you, these other app statuses, for example, submitted e-signature, means that you got the application over to the client for them to do the e-sign, but they haven't done it yet. So it just gives you those statuses. Here again are those different explanations. So the app started, partially completed the application, saved it to a resume with applicant later, you know, just different things, and how long that they'll appear out on the dashboard. So, and this is all out on Sales Professional Access. We have a guide out there as well that you can download with all of this information in it. And again, it's just very simple. We give you so much training, like, you know, these guides and so forth, that I think what you'll find is if you go out and do one, you don't even need it. You just start the application, walk through it. It's the application that you would see in front of you in a paper format, or if you opened up a PDF, and it's just extremely simple. To get a quote, you can do a dual quote. That's something that we incorporated here within the past year and added. So just another convenience. We're always making enhancements to this e-application. If there's anything out there that you would ever see that you would want to see enhanced to that, always pass that on to us. We kind of look at it for future iterations of updates to the tool. Ability to email a quote to your client. If they want to see a quote in person, you can email that quote at the bottom there. You just have to click on it. Their email pops up, and you fill that in and send it off to them. And they can consider their options at that time. Here's a quick snapshot of kind of the first page. So once you click the button, start the application, here's the first one. And if you look over to the left, this is going to basically show you all the different, so each of those, so the first one you're on is the applicant information. You start completing that, and then you move on to the Medicare information, their Part A, B, their effective dates, and then you just kind of start clicking through each one of these sections. Additional highlights, the ability for the client to receive explanation of benefit statements via email. This is something, again, we've recently incorporated. So if you have medical insurance and you go to the doctor, you get an EOB typically through paper. Well, we have it now where the consumer can elect to have that just sent to them via email. And if they decide later they want to change it back, they just call customer service. We also have the ability to send them a temporary ID card. We do use an outside vendor for the ID card, so once a policy is issued, it takes a few days for us to map that information over to them and for them to basically spit out a card to the consumer. So here, if you use the e-application, you can email the consumer a temporary ID card. Here's our signature option. So we have a couple of different ways we can do this. I think most of the time agents just go ahead and send it electronically. So basically an email goes out to the consumer, they go out, click on the link, and then they have a page, they review the documents, the guide to Medicare, the outline of coverage. It's all there for them to save into their records, the PDF of the application completed, and then basically they click a box, and by clicking that box, that's the signature. They hit submit. That application's on its way to Mutual of Omaha. They also can call an automated number to do a voice signature, and there's no live person on the other end. It's all via their phone by just clicking one to validate who they are and verifying that signature via phone. Or you could still just print the application then and send it out for a wet signature. So that's still an option as well. So if you were an agent and you were going to just take the application over the phone with the client, you would typically fill out a paper application, put it in the mail for them to sign, where you could go out and complete the e-app and just print it off at the end and mail it to them as well. Here's the few navigation cues that are going to help you along the way. So when I was showing you that first page where you start the applicant information, as you can see on the left there, the Medicare information, for example, in yellow, it just lets you know that page is still missing something, so it let you move on and go to a different section to complete. So the green check mark, that household discount section is good to go, but that Medicare information, there was something missing there. So before you can complete the application, if you were to head back to that Medicare information page, it's going to highlight that additional information that they need. So pretty easy. So we also have a sandbox. So if you're someone who, I just want to kind of take a look at this before I'm on the phone with a client, I want to know what I expect, and I'm that way. You just kind of want to be able to practice it, kind of see what it's going to look like. We do have a sandbox link out there. So when you go out to Sales Professional Access, you can click on a link called the Sandbox, and it basically you can go out and it's an application like you were going to walk all the way through one with a client. It just gets you familiar with the different screens, and you can submit it. You can see what the client sees on the other end, just for you to become kind of it gives you a visual. I'm a visual person, so I need to kind of see these things in motion, and that's what it does. It just gives you a really nice visual of what it's going to look like before you're on the phone with the client. So I think that's a great feature that we added to this. So that's our e-application. We have been very happy with the adoption of this. Of course, we worked in over the years. We knew at the beginning that every producer wasn't going to just gravitate towards this, but again, we're trying to give you all the different methods in which to finalize and take an application with a consumer, and I think in the future we're going to be seeing a lot of baby boomers are a little more tech savvy. They're more comfortable with computers. They're more comfortable with transactions over the phone. So I think just over time, we're just going to slowly start seeing a shift more over to this e-application. So I would give it a try. Again, it just kind of makes life a little bit easier. Now we're going to head over to Plan G. So Plan G, this has been a really nice progression to watch. So kind of just to give you a little bit of background, Mutual of Omaha, we started this kind of campaign to promote Plan G a couple of years ago. And we really didn't see many other carriers out there really putting a focus on promoting G. We did because when you look at Plan G, it doesn't have those, when you're coming off a Medicare Advantage, Plan G is not one of those plans that companies are mandated to offer. So from that perspective alone, it's a little cleaner block, and so the pricing can be more improved over F. And so Plan G is a plan that we've just really started promoting. And also I look at it from a regulatory standpoint with Congress, and their attack on first dollar coverage, which is Plan F. We just always wanted to get out there ahead to promote G, not knowing what was going to happen in the future. Don't think anything's going to happen in the immediate future. We're not concerned about that. But G was just something that we wanted to start informing our producers of to kind of get out there and promote to their clients as another option. And this year, I will let you know that of all the business we've received here in 2014, 59% is Plan G. So it's definitely starting to take hold where producers out there are really looking at this as an option to promote in addition to Plan F. So our Plan G rate is the lowest in most areas if you compare it. So side by side, F and G are the same. They're exactly the same, except Plan G does not pay the Part B deductible, which is $147 this year, and that's that annual calendar year deductible. After the Part B deductible is met, Plan G works exactly the same as Plan F. So we look at G as a big opportunity out there. So something you're going to look at is of course, what's it going to come down to? It's going to come down to price, of course, for a consumer. So when you look at the annual premium difference between an F and a G, if it's more than the calendar year Part B deductible, so that's something you want to look at, and then the applicant, as long as they know that that Part B deductible is out there and they have to pay for it for that one time in that calendar year, then they should be good to go. So here's kind of a snapshot of how you could save there. So look at Plan F. So here's an annual premium for Plan F, $1,439, and G is $1,122. If you were to add the Part B deductible in, so a lot of agents do this, they kind of walk through this with the consumer because that's an annual charge. So if you were to add that in, you could tell your consumer your total cost for G with that Part B deductible that they would be on the hook for that, first doctor visit. That would be $1,269. So when you still compare them, that Plan F at $1,439, adding in that Part B deductible brings you to $1,269. You still have an annual savings with G of $170. So that's why we have 59% closing in on G. Agents are starting to just hook into that more. They're starting to look at it. They're becoming more informed, more educated, and they're starting to really look at that savings and the way they communicate that to their consumers. So it's starting to take hold. Household discount. This is another great thing in the industry. We were one of the first ones out there to really start pioneering these household discounts. So on our old blocks, we have a 7% household discount. So you have two ways to determine for that 7% one. You use the MedSupp e-app. It does the calculation for you, which is great because you're just asking, it asks you the question. You say, yes, it applies. And so it's going to just give that to you. But outside of that, just doing a paper application, it's pretty easy to do the math on that. You take the single rate times 0.93 for the 7% household discount rate. In Missouri is a little bit different. It's 12%. And with our new states, so new product this year, we have we've gone a different approach, and this is going to be for new product moving forward. We have increased the household discount to 12%, and we loosened up the underwriting rules around that. Before, you had to live with someone, a spouse, a partner, a sister, whatever, but they had to have another policy in that household. Now we just ask the applicant, you need to be living with someone that is 60 years or older only. That's the only requirement. As we're rolling out these new states, and here they are, Arizona, Delaware, and Louisiana, as we've been rolling these new states out, A lot of agents are just kind of baffled, can it be that easy? And it is. It is that simple. The 12% household discount on new product moving forward, so new product that we're moving out this year moving forward, it's just going to be a simple question. You need to be living with someone that's 60 years or older. Now, of course, we take into account that that's going to be a lot more people qualifying for that. National monthly rate comparison. So this is just real quick our plan availability map. So this basically shows you we have 4 companies operating right now. United World, if you see there, just a couple of states, it's minimal. So United World is a company that was really our first company that we used to do start over pricing. So we've kind of got that one sitting in the background. Kansas is a little unique. We'll probably look at, hopefully in the next couple of years, moving that one over. There were some regulatory situations there that prevented us from moving into Omaha Insurance Company. So that one's sitting there kind of stagnant right now with a lot older rates. But as you can see here, we've got Omaha Insurance Company as the current company that we are unleashing, and as you see there, you've got quite a lot of orange there. So this is just a map kind of showing you what company is in what state. So we've got approved again, Louisiana, and what we did with Louisiana was, instead of moving it to Omaha Insurance Company, we reflexed back to Mutual of Omaha. So Mutual of Omaha, this is new product modernized going forward. So when CMS came forth and they modernized the plans, which basically gave everyone a start over, that took effect in June of 2010. So our old Mutual of Omaha blocks that are still in force, because those are our old standardized blocks. So Mutual of Omaha going forward is the new modernization of those new Plan Fs, going forward. So Louisiana, we actually reflexed back to Mutual of Omaha. And then we moved Arizona, Delaware, and we have Minnesota that just released under Omaha Insurance Company, and we're still pending product in Indiana and Oregon. And we are in pretty frequent dialogue with these states, kind of answering their inquiries so we can get these approved and get them out to the street. All I'll say to this map is whenever you see blue, preferably dark blue, that is a good thing. So dark blue, we're going to be the lowest rate, against our core competitors out there. And we're looking at an age 67 female here. This is going to be Plan G. So again, going back to that Plan G, household discount, non-tobacco rates, we are going to be extremely competitive out there in this marketplace. So dark blue, any shade of blue is a good thing. And here is the same map showing the mail rates. So, marketing credits program. This is another thing this is another kind of value add to our producers that, to my knowledge, I have not heard of other companies doing. So, and that could not be a true statement. There could be a company out there doing something similar, but I'm not aware of. But our marketing credits program we started several years ago, and it's basically our co-op with producers for marketing and promoting Mutual of Omaha. So basically how it works is you give us a certain number of applications in a month's time. We're going to start building a bank of credits for you, basically. You redeem them. You send us in receipts for, office supplies or leads that you bought, anything that just kind of validates that you're out there promoting, or we make it pretty easy, let me say. And so that what we get reimbursed for is going to be leads, or you can go out to our company website, our company collection, and order merchandise branded information. If you're going to go out and do a seminar for consumers and you want to order a bunch of pens or whatever, and you've got some credits, you can use it for that purpose. But otherwise, if you go out and buy leads or whatever, send us just a receipt of your leads. We'll send you whatever you have in your marketing credits bank. We'll send you a check for that. So we're basically co-oping with you based on the number of applications you give us in a month. So again, going back to that mix of business where we do kind of a snapshot quarterly of that business, well, here we do a snapshot every month. So if you give us 5 applications in that month's time, it's going to basically start the clock then for you to get some money in your bank for that month. We're going to give 0.5% of AMBP on paper apps, and again, we want to promote that e-app again, so we're going to give a full percentage of AMBP on those e-applications. Mutual sales leaders. So this has been an interesting one. We had a trip, for a number of years. Gosh, I think we've been doing mutual sales leaders starting back in maybe the late 90s. It went away a few years ago. We just didn't see a lot of other companies doing it, and it was a lot of Medicare supplement producers. We did this for our whole, in the past we did it for all of our producers for different product lines. So we just we got away from it. We kind of let it go for a few years, and this year we brought it back. So mutual sales leaders is back, and our first trip out is going to be Hawaii, Grand Wailea Resort in Maui, and it's going to be in March of next year. And the qualification period is basically all of 2014, January 1st to December 31st. Now, when we initially looked at what credits we, what achievement we wanted agents to try and achieve, and this is going to be for Medicare supplement production only. So when we brought it back, we did not bring in those other product lines. We just brought it back for Medicare supplement. We put out there $250,000 of AMBP. Well, as we kind of got into the first quarter, we're like, oh, we might, we wanted to kind of ratchet that down a little bit. We thought maybe that was a little bit too high. So what we did, we incorporated some jumpstart credits. So for every producer, we deposited basically 25,000 jumpstart production credits toward that 250. So essentially, we brought that 250 down to 225. Production requirements. So that's where it stands right now. And if you go out to Sales Professional Access and you click on that Incentives tab right there, the amount there that you see that you're earning will include that 25,000, already reducing that down. So you can go out there after every month. So we just finished up July, and we're going to be updating the Sales Professional Access, I think here, it's going to be probably within this next week. You'll be able to go out there and see your current snapshot through the end of July and where you sit, and it will tell you if you're on track to qualify. So we've got a pretty good turnout. We've got quite a few producers on track to qualify for going to Hawaii with us in March, and we hope that all you listening out there will also be on track for it as well. We've got open enrollment coming up here for annual election period coming up here at the end of the last quarter of the year, and that's where we're going to see our big bump in production. And that's just a great conversation for consumers to have. I think you still have a lot of people going into the end of the year where they still think, they have to kind of look at even their Medicare supplement, even though you can switch the MedSupp in and out all throughout the year. It's the Medicare Advantage that you move at the end of the year in your Part D. But again, it just kind of brings about the conversation to make sure agents have the opportunity to sit down with their clients and make sure that they're where they need to be. So we get, again, a lot of business in this last quarter. So a lot of producers still have a really good shot at making our mutual sales leader trip for Hawaii in March of next year. And then we'll announce here at the end of the year, probably in December, where our trip will be for qualifying in 2015 for the actual trip in 2016. We also did June and July double production credits, so that also was a nice bump up, and we'll see what we do for the rest of this year, but we did do double credits in June and July. So that's kind of just an overview of what we have going on. So again, this year, 2014, a lot of positive changes to our base compensation, that mix of business, renewal for underwritten business, the affiliate conversions from 75 to 90%. Our marketing credits, we're continuing to pay that, and since we've started that in the past 3 years, we've paid out over $800,000 in marketing credits, so that's obviously working. So that's a positive, bringing back our mutual sales leader trip for Medicare supplement. We just have a lot of positive things going on in this marketplace. Our average rate increase is down to 4.2%. I mean, that's just an extremely positive message to send, and we are just very confident where we're priced right now. I look at our rating plan for 2014, and I see so many decreases. Alabama, we took a 5% decrease in that state, 10% on Plan G for new business. You know, that is just all of that. I'm just looking at all the rate decreases that we've taken. That just sends a message that, you know, we are experiencing some good claims experience where we can do this with our rates. We need to stay competitive. We have a lot of competition out there. We have our eye on everyone. So we want your business, and we know that to do that, it's a commodity product. We have to have the rate there and the comp where it needs to be, and we think right now we're in a really good position with a lot of that. So if you look at our rate adjustments, all the positive things happening there, look at that map with all the blue. There's just a lot of positive things going on, and we're pretty excited about it. So I guess with that, I'll stop babbling on, and I'll open it up to any questions if anyone has any questions for me.
Well, before we open it up to questions, Alicia, I have a couple more things I want to say. And first and foremost, I want to thank Alicia. It's not every day that you get to go direct to the source of the National Sales Director of Mutual of Omaha to take the time to do a webinar and tell exactly what Mutual of Omaha's plans are for the future and even what they have done sort of in the past. As you guys are listening to this webinar, we all understand that some companies have to make some tough decisions to make sure everything's right in their world and in everybody's world. And it's not an easy time to do that any time. So with that being said, some of you have looked elsewhere or maybe even just slowed down the production a little bit. But as Alicia has gone through these changes that they have done and all the things that they put and thought into and have done very well with, it is a time, if you haven't, it's a time to look hard at Mutual of Omaha. They're one of the major MedSupp carriers out there, and they're a great partner to have as a company to work with on Medicare supplements. And as Alicia pointed out, all these things with the household discounts going up to 12% in some areas, 7% in others, and the decrease in rates, like in Washington, we now have Plan G at 146, I think it is, 147 with the discounts and everything. Really makes sense to go with it. Their incentive programs, the trip that they bring back, there's just so much going on at Mutual of Omaha that it just makes total sense to start looking at them and using them again. With that being said, we knew that at the end of the year we always see a big uptick in business, and we were thinking, what can we do to even get a bigger uptick with business? So we're going to do an incentive program, kicking it off September 1st and going all the way through December 31st. Now, our intention is to do this for Medicare supplements, and that still is our intentions, but we did a little bit different at the very end, thinking about it as Mutual being such a good partner and everything like that. We are going to open it up not just to Medicare supplements, but I want you to take advantage of it because it will help you qualify for that trip to Hawaii, but for any business that you're doing with Mutual of Omaha, whether it's long-term care, whether it's life business. So I want you to think about that. Here's how the deal goes. It starts September 1st through December 31st. We're doing a huge television giveaway. And here's how it works, is if you write $50,000 in business, annualized business, you will earn a 50-inch TV. If you do $60,000 through that period, you will earn a 60-inch big screen TV, Samsung Smart HD TV. If you do $70,000, you will earn a 75-inch Samsung TV. So here's a great way to get that open enrollment season started and earn that type of thing if you're writing other business form. We're also going to do, because we know that people have been terminated because of lack of business, or maybe they've just gone away, or possibly have just never taken that step to work with Mutual of Omaha. If you contract with us, or if you had your contract terminated at one time or another, we're going to give an additional $5,000 in in credits towards these TVs. So it's a great way to get a jump start on this and earn a big screen TV. We're not going to stop there. We're also going to, if you qualify for one of those TVs, you're going to go into a drawing, and whoever qualifies for a TV is going to get drawn for an 80-inch curved Samsung TV. These are the newest and latest TVs out there. It's 80 inches. It's quite a spectacular picture. We're going to be sending out flyers and emails on this probably in the middle of August, so keep your eyes out for it. But we're going to promote it through the end of this year, and we think that it's a great giveaway. This is a partnership with Mutual of Omaha, and we just want to help you guys do very well and help you get your business off and rolling. With all the changes that there's been with Mutual of Omaha, this is the time to start moving forward and taking advantage of it, using that e-app. If you're working in other states, it makes it real easy to do business, and they've made it really easy to use. So with that, I think we can open up questions. If anyone, Mike, is there something that they have to do to open it up?
No, I'm taking care of that right now. Anybody that's got questions, go ahead and fire away. We're unmuting everybody that entered in that audio PIN code. If for some reason you're having trouble with that, you can still key the question in, as a couple of you did before, with more administrative stuff than anything else. We do ask that if you are not going to ask a question, to go ahead and keep yourself individually muted by keying in *6. That will allow us to keep background noise from interrupting what we're doing. So go ahead and fire in with your question.
So Mike has unmuted that phone if anyone has any questions.
Fire away. If you have questions on the contest or you want clarification on that, which Dave just explained, please let me know about that as well. Well, Alicia, that sounds like crickets. We refer to that as the webinar version of a no-hitter.
Because I did such a job explaining everything so thoroughly that.
A job. That's exactly right. A dominant performance on your part.
Well, hey, you know what? Stuff comes up later, and you think about stuff. And of course, if that comes about, you know, we have a great partnership with AIM. Just go ahead and funnel questions through them, and they can either answer them if they need, you know, further clarification. Always reach out to me. So everything doesn't stop right here, is what I'm trying to say.
Sure. And we appreciate that. If you'll send me over a copy of the slides, I know we'll have some requests on that for the folks
Absolutely.
in the audience. You can email me at mike.anderson,
yep.
S-O-N, @yaim.com.
Okay.
Alicia will get those slides over to me, and we'll be able to get them out to you. All right. Well, one last pass for questions. Nobody's holding their hand up. Nobody's jumping in. Oh, somebody just held their hand up electronically, so hang on. Let's.
Okay.
Lead program, that's an offline thing that we could talk about specific to us. We will reach out to the individual agent and address that. All right, any other questions?
Although on that lead program deal, just reminder that the marketing credits would help pay for that lead cost through Mutual of Omaha. So just keep that in mind on that, and then Mike can also address the lead program that we also have going on.
Great.
Wonderful.
All right, well, thanks, everybody. Alicia, thanks so much for